Welcome to Raw Talk. A real storm is brewing. Gonna have a link down below in the description box, as always, to credit WWE. Wow, this one's a bit of a mixed bag. So right out of the gate, rumors are that Vince and Kennedy McMahon made some last-minute changes. Then some other people are saying he's been at it for a couple of months. If I'm not mistaken, this is the last Raw and SmackDown coming up, or one of the last ones, before the whole UFC merge becomes official, and then they have a 51% control over everything that happens while WWE has a 49%. Okay? Then we're going to have a link as well to Matt Riddle and the whole JFK airport. I almost said assassination. That's not funny. Because get it? JFK, right? That's what I like automatically comes to my mind when I think of those letters. And apparently for Michael Cole, the Judgment Day.
McDonough, who's still trying to get himself into the Judgment Gate.
The Judgment Gate. So that was a pretty funny slip. So I got a link down below for that. So, we started off the show with a banger. My main event man, Jey Uso. And then he was interrupted by Kevin Owens. It was pretty good. And the Judgment Day comes out. And Jey steps up and he's like, you know what? I'm going to be your partner. Because Kevin Owens has been telling him, it's going to take a while for me to trust you, to believe you. But they teamed up. And unfortunately, right there, by accident, it was totally an accident. There's been a lot of accidents lately. Right? A lot of accidents lately. There's the Xavier Woods, Drew McIntyre chair. There's just a lot of stuff going on. I would have mentioned Ridge Holland, but those are just stupidities. We're not going to get political about that, though. So, yeah, he kicked him, and Kevin Owens afterwards in the back was really unhappy. Why don't you go find your Judgment Day buddies? Maybe you could paint or dye your hair purple. But it's so obvious. I know it's all scripted, and within reason, they're kind of told what direction to go into. I don't buy it. If that would have been me, it was evident. It was as clear as water that it was an accident. Kevin could have still had that same energy. You know what, man? I'm glad you had my back. You also had my chin with that boot. But you know what? Things happen. Okay? Things happen. You were there for me. And this is a right step in the right direction. I'll catch you next time. He could have still been upset. A little bit like, darn, you know, we lost. And thanks for that kick in the chin. But just like Kofi Kingston, when he said, don't worry about it, to Drew for the chair, and then Drew McIntyre didn't return the same thing when he got accidentally, well, not he, when Riddle got accidentally troubled in paradise by Kofi Kingston, Riddle was okay with it. He's the one that got kicked. Remember that? Well, maybe not, because some people watch me, and they don't even watch wrestling. They come to me for all the shit. Pressure's on, baby. And then Drew McIntyre wasn't happy about it. Like, it's just kind of bizarre. And speaking of the whole Drew McIntyre thing, now him and Xavier Woods got into some heated words. And, hey, if you're going to say something about Kofi Kingston, man, why don't you go tell him? It's like, well, he kind of already has. And he's like, if he wants to talk to me, why isn't he here? So now they went at it. Right? Like, that to me wasn't really all that believable either. But whatever. Maybe it's the McMahon touch. I don't know. The Miz defeats Akira Tozawa. Nobody came out. There was no LA Night. I almost said Magic Night. Man, I'm really getting the curse of Michael Cole here. I mean, this was all right. I like Akira Tozawa. I really do. He's really accomplished, really safe, good worker. He's in tremendous physical condition. Takes this whole thing very seriously despite never being around. So I was just happy to see him out there. And, oh yeah, Tommaso, tomato champ, used the steel chair to save the Alpha Academy from Imperium. The Onslaught. As you can see there with the Ring General. With the boot. I'm really hyper, sorry. Today I'm like really aggressive. Boot right to the sweet chin of Otis, not Omos. This is why I could never do commentary like Michael Cole. I wish I could. Did I ever tell you that? Now that I'm on topic, try to drag out this video as long as possible. If I could have been a superstar, a referee, I would have rather to have been a commentator, like a Corey Graves, a Michael Cole, a Gorilla Monsoon, a Bobby the Brain. You get where I'm saying? I would have preferred that. So that was really nice. It was not really seen. That was kind of like, oh, where'd that come from? But it was cool. And then they had the 3-on-3 match. Yeah, then there was the Drew McIntyre who defeated Xavier Woods. That was a good match. I enjoyed it. These guys are really good. Like I said, just overall, the show, there was some poor booking, in my opinion. And like I said, I'm never going to sugarcoat it and just be like, oh, yeah, everything was so amazing. No. Every show, I don't care if it's Impact, New Japan Pro, AEW, WWE, from the past, present, or the future, WCW. I don't care. I will always try to just enjoy it for what it is, for the moments that are there that I enjoy it. And for the parts that I'm like, holy shit, really? Then whatever. The moment's passed. You can't do anything about it. Don't dwell on that shitty moment. Just think about the other moments within the show that you thought were interesting. That's how I look at it. So this whole show, again, for me was all right. This is the part where Michael Cole had the slip up there. And he said that the Judgment Day were Judgment Gay. Okay. I honestly don't know why it kind of went viral on Twitter, honestly. It's an honest slip up. I've said like words that kind of rhyme with what I was trying to say without even thinking. And it's really not that big of a deal. It really, really isn't. Now, and I'm not trying to get myself canceled here, but let's say he's like, oh, wow, Dominic Mysterio, he's been working out. He's much bigger. But had he said another certain unsavory word that rhymes with that one, I'm just saying, even then, it's like, yeah, you know, what's going on there? But it's the context, it's the intent, it's a slip up. It's really not that big of a deal. Anyways, Cody Rhodes handled his own there in a little brawl with Dirty Dom Dom and JD McDonough. JD McNugget. He's about the size of a McNugget, too. Didn't really see him interacting with the rest of the Judgment Day, though, or hanging out with Finn Balor this week. It was actually just with Dirty Dom Dom, which I thought was interesting. Now, this match I didn't like. That's right, I didn't like it. No. Chelsea Green is a champion. Okay? Now, Shayna Baszler, like, I liked the match. Like, it was, you know, for what it was too short. You basically squashed Chelsea. She's a champ. You can't squash a champ that fast. You're not the honky-tonk man. That is the booking. Chelsea Green is a much better competitor than you think. But she reminds me of Seth Rollins from like a dozen years ago with the whole J&J security, where he was a little chicken shit. They made him look like such a little bitch. And I hated that. It wasn't believable. They have a champ acting like that? That is not good booking. I would have loved to have had her be all like, oh my God, don't touch me. I just got back in the game. Right? She gets her feet wet. She gets the belt. Piper Niven comes in, does her thing, and basically, like, roughs her up in the sense of makes her realize, like, quit being such a... I don't even know what the word is I'm looking for. Like a little pansy or whatever the word is. I haven't used that word in a long time. I really hope that doesn't have some new thing now where that word's canceled too. There's a lot of stuff you could say decades ago that now if you say it's like, ugh. And to me, that would have been cool. Hanging out with Piper Niven would have made Chelsea Green become a little bit more Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark-like. I would have liked that so that she's not so flimsy or whatever. But again, I get it. It's her character, and she plays it well. She really does. Hey, at least she's not hurting people. We're going to talk about that in a moment with another superstar. Oh boy, Shinsuke Nakamura attempted to get inside Seth fucking Rollins' head by attacking Ricochet. I'm thinking, it's not that Seth Rollins doesn't care, but it's... I don't know. But it was cool, though, because there's talking Japanese again and all that. I really like that, especially with the promo that we had again. I really, really like that new direction that they're doing. Because with all due respect, now we can understand him clearly. And it takes no time to get a sentence across. It's amazing. I feel more connected to him. And Tomasa and Alpha Academy, they defeated Imperium. That was a good match. I loved it when the Ringanal was put in a submission, as was the Giovanni. And he tapped like a bitch. But I didn't see Gunther get all upset and, you, a disgrace. I would have liked to have seen that, but we didn't. Rhea Ripley defeats Raquel Rodriguez in a women's world title match. And Nia Jax returned to take out the competition. Hi, kumbaya, my lord. Yeah, so, the match itself. Let's get on with the match. I liked the match. It was actually pretty good. Really. I was like, oh, okay. Wow, that's good. Good stuff. It was nice. Some good moves. Some impressive stuff in there. Two very dominating individuals. Oh, man. Oh, Nia Jax. I think she's related to Ridge Holland. I know, it sounds really rude. But she has not a good history. I wouldn't be surprised now if we're out next week of Raquel and Rhea. Rhea Ripley might have been Rip-Dee-Dee. You know, like Humpty Dumpty, Rhea Rip-Dee-Dee. Anyway, she could have fallen off that wall and just cracked. Because she got squashed by all of Nia. I'm just saying. That can really break some ribs. And I'm like, wow. No, but her coming back... I don't know. Were they struggling to get an extra woman in there? And has she been working hard this whole time to ensure the safety of others? She's seriously, on multiple occasions, injured people. That's really not cool. Like, to me, that's a big deal. You got superstars like Bret the Hitman Hart, who's never injured anybody. Hogan, just other people. Jake the Snake Roberts. I mean, I know I'm going back 30, 40 years. Or even people in recent memory. But, like, we're just going to have to wait and see. I have nothing against her personally. I don't know her. Right? But she wasn't well received. Like, the fan reaction Wasn't exactly something like if CM Punk came back. It was underwhelming, to say the least. And I sure hope to God they medicate McMahon and they don't have Nia Jax dethrone Rhea Ripley. I would lose my shit. I really, really would. Let's go and see if there's anything I'm missing. Yeah, that was the cool promo. Trying to think here. Yeah. Oh! Again, another thing. See, it's a good thing I looked at that. He goes to the back, talks to Jay, blah, blah, blah. I still got issues with you. Now it's like we're going to wrestle. It's like, really? Two-face attacking each other? But I kind of like that in a way, to be honest with you, because it's not something that you would normally expect. Just like a heel like Logan Paul that comes out and hangs out and high-fives people and all that sort of stuff. He looks like a crazy man. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything else. So we talked about the Michael Cole thing, like that's a big deal. And now we're going to talk about my bro. This guy is more bro than woo 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 Zack Ryder. You know it. So a couple of days ago, to keep it really simple, Matt Riddle claimed that he was sexually assaulted by a police officer at the JFK airport. And then he deleted that post on Instagram. Now, that doesn't mean that it didn't happen just because he deleted it. Matt Riddle is someone that I truly appreciate. He's an accomplished MMA fighter. He keeps himself in tremendous physical condition. I wish I looked like that. I just really like him. And the whole time with Randy Orton, to me, it was at the height of Riddle's career. He's just so good in the ring, too. I really like him. As a person, I mean, I don't know him. But he seems to have a little bit of a more than the ordinary kind of a controversial background. Questionable behavior with some ladies. He was in rehab for drugs and alcohol. So now it's been claimed that he was rambunctious at the airport. He was intoxicated. I don't know if there's any proof of that, because there are a lot of people that are just throwing Riddle under the bus because of his past. They're not giving him the benefit of the doubt. I hope that... Now, this is going to sound weird, so let me clarify. I hope the accusation is false, as in, like, he wasn't assaulted. Like, I hope it didn't happen, but it would be sad at the same time, because I would like to think he wouldn't make that up. But then if he did, I really hope he was heavily intoxicated. Because that's a big deal. Huge deal. When I was a teenager, I went through that with somebody. Okay? They accused me of doing something. You can guess what it is. And immediately, even though I have a good repertoire, it's crazy how some people will just be like, oh, you sick bastard. Then I had some people threatening me. I got into a fight with a couple of people. And then when she saw how serious it got, she finally admitted that she simply was not happy with me. Because I was dating her best friend. And like for 5 to 7 years after that, people would still joke about it. And it never happened. So if this ends up... This is why I'm saying, like, it sounds weird. But yeah, now that I just shared with you what I shared, I'm like... I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying this, but I'm like, please, Riddle, let's just hope you didn't lie to keep it, you know, soft. Let's hope you're not making that up. But let's hope that for his sake, for Riddle's sake, it was tame. I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't there. But eyewitness accounts and all that, It's still a little bit in the air as to what's going on, so supposedly the police are looking into it. Because I would lose all respect, all of it, if I find out that Matt Riddle lied about sexual assault. That is just not cool. I don't care. I'm rolling my eyes. I'm going, for his sake, I hope he was severely intoxicated, because not that it makes it an excuse. Please, hear me out. Some people, including my father, can do some really shitty things, say some really shitty things when you're really heavily intoxicated that you would never have said or done when you were sober. So I'm a little bit kind of all over the place, but predominantly not because of personal things I've went through before, but because I wasn't there. Like, it's hard for me to judge him. Yeah, he did that in the past. Not this thing, but I'm saying, well, I don't know what he supposedly did in the past. I don't know the whole story, but what I'm saying is I'm not going to judge someone now, even if they have like a bit of a history of some stuff, related or unrelated. People can change. They really can change. Some terrible people can become some pretty amazing people. And then sometimes the rules get reversed. I feel like I kind of went off on a rant there. But yeah, so Matt Riddle apparently missed the show, not in relation to this whole thing. Like, he's supposedly not suspended. And here is what he had said. This is what Riddle said on Instagram that he deleted. Nothing like being sexually assaulted by an officer and harassed at the JFK airport. No means no. Just because I'm nice doesn't mean yes. Asshole. Don't know their Twitter or Instagram handles, but I took pictures. Normally I'm like whatever, but today was really weird and uncomfortable, and they made a point to make me feel small and useless. Definitely one of the most uncomfortable travel days I've ever had, thanks to New York City. You're so progressive and accepting. And then there were some people saying, how can that happen? He's a dude. He would have liked it. I'm so sick of hearing about that. Or he can fight. He would have been able to easily defend himself. I'm not going to share another morbid story that I went through years ago, like decades ago. But let's just say that just because you can fight, and just because you're a guy, you would be surprised what some people can do to try and have an advantage over you, okay? So, I didn't think that was cool. Like, I get it, generally speaking, okay? Generally speaking, men tend to be more physically dominating, unless you're Rhea Ripley. But seriously, though, I wouldn't say something like that. Oh, he's a dude, and you must have liked it. Like, it's a fucked up way of thinking, honestly. It really is. Like, yes, it is odd because it's not something that generally happens. I get it. I get on the surface where people are coming from. You know, so many guys, they're so desperate, they go out and pay for it, for fuck's sakes. You know what I mean? That they try and spend their whole days sometimes just trying to get some. That's where the notion comes from, that when a guy just has it forcefully put onto him, well, fuck, he must have been in heaven then. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. TMZ shed more light on the situation, revealing that the Port Authority Police Department had received a call about a disorderly person, because supposedly Matt Riddle was being disorderly. And then he was apologetic, Riddle was, and his post came as a surprise to the police department. But we still don't know why he missed Raw. I don't know. Yeah, it says here that, as per reported, Riddle is not present in Norfolk, Virginia for 9/11, which was yesterday, 9/11's edition of Raw. And he's not expected to work the live events in Idaho and Washington over the weekend, despite being previously booked But that might have nothing to do with the airport incident. Now, supposedly, according to Dave Meltzer, which... Exactly. Missed Monday Night Raw due to an illness. I'm not buying it. I mean, it could be true, but it just seems too convenient. Again, this week's been weird because of this whole thing with Riddle. And I'm really not cool with if it does end up being a false accusation. But at the same time, I'm not saying that I hope it was real. Right? I just wish the whole thing just didn't happen, period. And that there's some kind of explanation behind all of this. Because that would definitely make me look at him a lot differently. But as for Raw, according to what I'm thinking, it was cool. I had a good time, right? I was watching it. I was playing the new... I almost said the new Forza. The new Crew Motorsport. That's kind of like Forza Horizon a little bit. But of course I was paying attention to the wrestling. Anyhow, as always, if you liked the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. And if you didn't like the video, you know it's coming. Go ahead, give it a thumbs down. We'll bend it in half, we'll twist it, and we'll have her jump on it. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.